Hello there, my savvy travelers, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Sophia, and if you're new here, just know I've spent the last 15 years perfecting the art of stuffing my life, and sometimes yours, into a standardized bin in the sky. Today, we are tackling a topic that causes more stress, more arguments, and more last-minute sprinting at the gate than any other: the carry-on catastrophe. Let me ask you, are you feeling confident about the bag sitting next to you right now? Do you think you know the rules? Are you convinced that because that bag fit under the seat on your last flight with budget airline B, it's going to sail through the gate with major carrier M this year? Think again, because the rules for 2025 haven't just changed, they've become an absolute maze. Airlines are silently, strategically tightening their carry-on restrictions in a massive push to squeeze every last dollar out of you for checked baggage. And guess who gets to enforce those sneaky, ever-changing rules? That's right, me, or someone just like me. I've seen grown men weep, I've seen women try to wear 7 sweaters simultaneously, and I've seen perfectly good vacations start with a fiery argument because of one single oversized carry-on bag. The fact is, airlines don't want you to carry on your luggage. They want it in the belly of the plane, and they want your wallet open to pay the tribute. But here's the unexpected angle I promised. It's not just about the size of the bag anymore. It's about the type of bag, where you check in, when you board, and even who your gate agent is. In this video, I'm not just going to read you the fine print, I'm giving you the flight attendant's playbook. We're going to cover the 7 critical carry-on traps that will get your bag rejected this year, and I'm going to share my absolute favorite, completely legal insider tricks for getting a little extra space without paying a dime. By the end of this video, you will not only avoid the walk of shame to the baggage counter, but you'll also be one of those smug travelers who breeze right onto the plane, knowing their bag is perfectly compliant and tucked away before the overhead bins fill up. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, have you ever had your carry-on rejected, or did you have to pay a shocking last-minute fee? Tell me your worst airport carry-on trauma in the comments below. I read every single one. And I love hearing your travel nightmares. They help me make videos that solve your problems. And while you're down there, if you want to travel smarter, not harder, and unlock more of the airline industry's secrets, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell. Join my crew and let's navigate the skies together. 1. The wheels and handle lie. Size matters differently. Everyone knows the basic carry-on dimensions, right? Say 22 times 14 times 9 inches. You bought a bag that says $22.20 on the tag. You're good, right? The trap. That measurement is almost always for the main body of the bag, excluding the wheels and the handle. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a passenger confidently slide their bag into the dreaded metal sizer, only to have the wheels or the retracted handle add that critical half-inch that catches the frame. The airline marketing says $22 inches, but the operational measurement is often $22 inches total. The Sophia insider tip: when you shop for a new carry-on, bring a tape measure with you. Don't trust the tag. Measure from the very bottom of the wheels to the very top of the retracted handle. If the total length is 21.5 inches or less, you are golden. That 0.5-inch buffer is your insurance against the metal sizer's unforgiving truth. This also applies to the depth. A bag that is 9 inches deep when empty is often 10 or 11 inches deep when fully packed and bulging. If your bag is too wide or too deep, it's not going to slide in properly, and the gate agent is trained to spot the bulge. A flexible, soft-sided duffel bag gives you a better chance of squeezing than a rigid, hard-shell suitcase. 2. The personal item policy reversal. The backpack trap. For years, the industry standard was 1 carry-on bag for the overhead bin, plus 1 personal item for under the seat. Most of you have been exploiting the personal item rule by bringing a massive backpack that could practically fit a small human. The 2025 trap. Airlines are clamping down on the personal item. The key word is now stowable. If your backpack is so large that it interferes with the legroom of the person next to you, it's not a personal item, it's a second carry-on. Gate agents are now paying hyper-specific attention to backpack depth, particularly on smaller aircraft. I had a guy last month who tried to argue his hiking backpack was soft, so it should count. I told him, Sir, I know what a pillow is, and that is not a pillow. That is a small mountain of nylon and straps. The Sophia Insider Tip. Your personal item should be a vertical rectangle, not a horizontal square. Vertical bags slide better under the seat and use the dead space between your feet. Crucially, the airline must allow for a purse, laptop bag, or briefcase. If you have a separate laptop bag, use it. Place your backpack or duffel in the overhead bin and slide the small, thin laptop bag beneath the seat. This looks less offensive to the gate agent than two bulky items. Third, the weight limit no one talks about, the European trap. If you fly domestically in the US, you rarely worry about the weight of your carry-on. As long as it fits in the sizer, you're usually fine. The trap. This rule is non-existent on US domestic flights, but it is strictly enforced by almost every major international airline, especially those based in Europe and Asia. The weight limit is usually between 7 and 10 kilograms, about 15 to 22 pounds. If you have a fully packed carry-on and a heavy laptop in your personal item, you can easily exceed this 15-pound limit. The Sophia Insider Tip. If you're flying an international route, wear your heaviest items. Wear your hiking boots instead of your sneakers. Wear your bulkiest jacket. Put heavy items like cameras, battery packs, and books into the pockets of your jacket or pants. Clothes don't weigh much, but electronics and shoes do. When I worked a London route last year, I watched agents use a handheld luggage scale on bags right at the jetway. They don't mess around. If it's over, you pay the fee, or you stand there awkwardly transferring your heavy sweater to your body. Fourth, the last-minute gate check ambush, the full flight tactic. You got your bag past the ticket counter, you got it past security, you're practically at the finish line, then you hear that dreaded announcement. Due to a full flight, we will be gate checking all large carry-on bags free of charge. The trap. This isn't really a rule violation, but it's an airline tactic that results in your bag being rejected from the overhead bin. The airline is preemptively removing bags because they oversold the flight, and there won't be enough bin space. You lose control of your bag, your flight is now delayed by $15 while they tag and load the bags, and you've lost access to your laptop, medication, and snacks. The Sophia Insider Tip. The key to avoiding the gate check is to board in the earliest possible group. Airlines usually gate check bags starting with the last boarding group, often group 6 or 7. If you're stuck in a late boarding group, here's my trick. Stand near the gate agent before your group is called, but after the first few groups have boarded. Casually approach the agent and say, "Hi, I know I'm in group 7, but I have a tight connection and really need to ensure my small carry-on gets into the bin. Is there any way I can board with group $4? 9 times out of 10, they just want to move the line along and will wave you through. If you have any sort of medical device, even a small necessary one, mention it. Airlines must make reasonable accommodations, and this is your golden ticket to an earlier boarding group and guaranteed overhead bin space. 5. The odd-shaped item rule. The fits in the sizer. Misconception. You've packed your tennis racket, a long poster tube, or maybe a fancy wedding dress bag. It seems okay, but when the flight attendant looks at it, they look displeased. The trap. Even if an item technically fits the length requirement, its odd shape makes it impossible to stow safely alongside other rectangular bags. A long, thin item doesn't pack efficiently, and it prevents the bin door from closing securely. From a crew perspective, an improperly stowed bag is a massive safety risk. If we hit unexpected turbulence, those items become missiles. The Sophia Insider Tip. If you must bring an oddly shaped item, be prepared to gate check it. The only exception is often fragile musical instruments, like a violin, which you can sometimes bring on as your personal item if you are polite and ask the gate agent. But for anything long and rigid, be proactive. Don't wait for the rejection. At the gate, before they start tagging for gate checks, walk up and ask for a gate check tag. "Hi, I have a long item here. I think it will be easier if I gate check it now." This shows you are compliant and cooperative, and you get the item tagged immediately without the fee or the hassle of arguing over the size. 6th, the 2 items from duty-free trap, the double-dipping mistake. You bought your carry-on essentials at home. You made it through security? Then you see that gorgeous bottle of perfume or a box of fancy chocolates at duty free. You buy it, and the cheerful cashier hands you a branded shopping bag. The trap. That duty-free bag is now considered your third item. Airlines are specific. One carry-on, one personal item. That duty-free bag, regardless of its contents, counts as a separate item. The only exception is sometimes if the duty-free bag is small enough to fit inside your personal item. The Sophia Insider Tip. If you buy something at duty-free, you have two options to avoid a third item rejection. The immediate integration. Immediately, politely, and discreetly transfer the item into your personal bag or backpack. Ditch the duty-free bag. The gate agent is visually counting items as you approach the jetway. 2 items are fine, 3 is a problem. The consumable defense. If you can't fit it, start consuming it. If you buy a massive bag of chips, you have a better chance of arguing it's food for the flight than if you have a huge sealed box of liquor. However, this is a risky game. Best practice is always to merge the items. 7th, the regional jet reality check, the under-the-gun rejection. Your ticket says Mega Airline. You are flying from a small regional airport to a hub, and the plane is tiny. The trap, regional jets, those small planes with a 2x2 or 1x2 seating configuration, often have significantly smaller overhead bins than the mainline aircraft. Even if your bag is $22 inches, it may not fit sideways or even lengthwise into the tiny bins of an Embraer or a Canadair jet. The carry-on rule is always subject to the limitations of the actual aircraft. The Sophia Insider Tip. Always check your flight details to see the type of aircraft. If it's a regional jet, assume your standard carry-on will not fit. Here's the trick. Regional jet boarding is often a free-for-all once the jetway begins. When you see the agent start gate checking the larger bags with a plainside delivery tag, proactively volunteer your bag. Don't wait to be told. By volunteering early, your bag is among the first to be tagged and loaded onto the plane. This means it's less likely to be misplaced, and it's usually the first bag pulled up to the jetway when you land. If you hold back and try to sneak it on, only to have a flight attendant reject it on board, your bag may end up being mishandled and delayed, because the flight is waiting for you to fix your luggage mistake. Be strategic. If it's a regional jet, plan for the plainside gate check. Pack your essentials, meds, documents into a small purse or sleeve that you can easily pull out of your main carry-on right before you hand it over. The final boarding call. I know that navigating the carry-on rules in 2025 feels like dealing with an ever-moving target. But remember, the airlines are relying on you to be uninformed. They want that extra fee. You now have the 7 critical traps to avoid. Don't trust the bag tag. Measure the wheels and handles for that final inch. Beware of the personal item backpack trap. Keep it slim and vertical. Don't forget the international weight limit. Wear your heavy items. Avoid the gate check ambush by boarding early or using the tight connection excuse. Anticipate rejection for odd-shaped items and proactively gate check them. Know that your duty-free bag is a third item and integrate it immediately. Always assume the worst on a regional jet and proactively use the plainside check. Master these tricks, and you will not only save money, but also guarantee yourself a smooth, stress-free flight.